Hi, it's Mark from Top Local. We're here with Bernie Pawlik, talking cars. How you doing, Bernie?
I'm doing very well this morning.
Great. So I haven't said this in a while. I think we need to reiterate that you, Pawlik Automotive, are 17-time winners as voted by their customers as best automotive repair in Vancouver. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's an honor.
So we're going to talk about Kia vehicles, which until somewhat recently were sort of thought of as econobox, maybe not the best quality vehicles. How are Kias for reliability?
Well, my impression of them is they're mixed. Yeah, you're right. Econobox is kind of the thinking. I mean, they've always been on the cheap price end of the spectrum, and they still continue to be. But generally, they're fairly reliable vehicles, although there are some that do have a fair number of problems and some pretty major ones to boot.
So what did you find in looking at different models and what happens?
Well, so there's a in the sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here. So between the 2011 and 2014 model years in the Optimas, there's some severe engine problems, and these engines are made by Hyundai. So they share the same issues. Catastrophic engine failures that are really early mileage. So there's a lawsuit about this, and if you have one, make sure you look into details. If you've already paid for an engine replacement, look into ways of getting reimbursed. But if you haven't had a problem with one, there probably will be. So we work on a few Kias in our shop, not a lot of them. And I haven't actually had one come in with a blown engine, but there seems to be a variety of models, with engine problems over the full spectrum of the Kia lineup. So really, if you're buying one or you own one, do your research and look into, especially if you're going to buy one, do your research into which ones have problematic engines, because it might be a good thing to avoid. Now, one vehicle we do have a lot of experience with is Sedonas. We've worked on quite a few of those, and those have really good engines. They're really pretty reliable, other than many of the earlier ones have timing belts, so you're going to have that expensive maintenance over, once in a while. But they do generally, they develop some oil leaks over time, probably more than you'd get out of a Toyota. But that's kind of my impression of them.
So engine problem sounds pretty serious. Any other areas of common defect in these vehicles?
Not really. That is really the major thing. Otherwise, they're reasonably well built. Suspensions are pretty good. Transmissions, don't really see any problems with those. Brake wear and brake life is sort of average that you'd expect with one of these, any sort of vehicle or equivalent. So overall, I mean, in that area, they're pretty well built, and the fit and finish of the newer ones is certainly much better than it was way back when.
That sounds a little more promising. Not entirely bad vehicles then?
No, definitely not. And of course, you're paying a lot less money for the car, but I always use Toyota as the benchmark, and if you want something like really reliable in a sort of economy small car, I mean, a Toyota Echo or a Corolla is probably the best thing you can buy. That, nothing will go wrong with it, but you're going to be paying a lot more money for that car. So you got to kind of weigh it out. But if you buy one with an engine problem, of course, that's something you won't get with a Toyota.
Any other thoughts on Kias?
Well, there's timing belts on many models, so you need to, and I'm not going to go over a list of which cars have them or which engines, but it's important to check your owner's manual or consult with your mechanic or call us if you're in Vancouver. We can let you know whether your vehicle has a timing belt and needs to be replaced. So those need to be done between 100 and 160,000 kilometers, depending on which make and model which model it is. Other than that, oil services, of course, change your oil regularly, and that's a big thing. And many of these engine failures on some of these vehicles may be due to bad maintenance. I'm not sure on the details. It's such a wide variety of engines that a lot of times just a bit of bad maintenance can cause a whole line of cars to go bad.
So there you go. If you need good maintenance on your vehicles or on your Kia in Vancouver, the guys to call are Pawlik Automotive. You can reach them at 604-327-7112. They're busy, so you got to book ahead. Or check out their website, pawlikautomotive.com. We've got 5 years worth of videos on there, tons of information. Thanks, Bernie.
Thanks, Mark.